Your kidneys are simply amazing. Each kidney has about 1 million tiny filters. They are called nephrons and they have the ability to selectively get rid of certain bad stuff and retain certain good things. And with the 2 million nephrons, you have to filter out 50 gallons of blood every single day. And so this kidney recycles 99% of all your blood. So only a little bit is released. One of the big problems with your kidneys is high blood pressure, because if you have chronic high blood pressure, they can really destroy those little tiny filters. Another thing that is more destructive than blood pressure to your kidneys is high levels of sugar, as in diabetes. All the sugar in your blood has to go through these little tiny filters, and what happens when it interacts with the filters is it makes those little filters smaller, so now it cannot filter. So now you're going to be losing sugar and losing protein in the urine. A couple of simple ways to determine if there is some damage to the kidney is: number one, do you have sugar in the urine? Number two, do you have protein in the urine? Because if you do, that can mean kidney damage. And also the color of your urine is important too, because when the kidneys stop filtering, the color of the urine is no longer kind of an amber yellow. It can get darker and it can turn actually a lot of different colors. But one of the most important things the kidney does is activate vitamin D. And if there's damage with the kidney, you're not going to be able to activate vitamin D. And that could be one reason why people are very efficient. So we need strong, healthy kidneys to get rid of waste and to even retain nutrients. Let's start with food number one: instant noodles. These noodles are loaded with sodium, but there's something more damaging about these noodles. It's actually a preservative called TBHQ. This preservative is very toxic to the kidney. It can actually cause the kidneys to work harder, where you actually enlarge your kidney, and it also has the ability in some cases to produce cancer in your kidneys. Sodium is a problem with the blood pressure. When you go to a doctor, they might say that you're salt sensitive, so you have to reduce your sodium. But the question is, do we really need to reduce the sodium, or do we need to increase potassium, which is more protective, because there's just as many problems with too much sodium as there is with the deficiency of sodium. There's a condition where a person is drinking a lot of water but not consuming enough salt, and that's called hyponatremia. With that condition, you can even create fluid retention in your body, which puts a lot of strain on the kidney. And also just drinking more water puts a big strain on the kidney, getting rid of all this extra fluid. Next food we have is fried chicken. I'm talking about the fried chicken that you would get at a fast food restaurant. So anytime you eat a protein with a carbohydrate, as in all that flour breading, you get something called glycation, which is simply when carbohydrates and protein bind at a high heat so that the sugar molecule is stuck to the protein, and now the protein in your body can't work anymore. Next we have is commercial bread. You may have come across these breads that their expiration date is probably April, but it's July and the bread is still soft. So it's April the expiration date, but we are coming to July, but still the bread is okay. The reason behind this is because it has preservative and also something called potassium bromate. Potassium bromate is really harmful on the kidneys. In fact, it is banned in a lot of countries except in the United States and Japan. And apparently, it's carcinogenic in our bodies, especially with kidney cancer. Next we have is soda. What's in the soda that's harmful to the kidneys? Phosphoric acid. Now, phosphoric acid is destructive to the kidneys, not just from it, but also the added sugar as well. And the number one cause of kidney damage is diabetes. Now, this means the person has too much sugar in the blood. They put phosphoric acid in the soda because it's cheaper, and the other types of acid in etic acid, they can act as preservative. It can also retain the carbonation, and it's an overall flavor enhancer. Next we have is cereals. Instant cereals, because of the seed oils and the refined sugars and the refined starches, and the main one is glyphosate. It's not going to be listed as one of the ingredients because legally they don't have to put it on the label, but they can use another name, bioengineered ingredients. That means glyphosate. In certain parts of the world where they use a lot of glyphosate in agriculture, the workers who work in the fields have a higher risk of chronic kidney disease because of the heavy exposure to this glyphosate. Anything else that is GMO like soy, corn, cotton is going to have glyphosate in it, but also things that are not GMO like oats and wheat, because they use a glyphosate to dry out these grains during the process of them. So you may want to avoid these foods, especially that they have preservatives, to take care of your kidneys. We are going to talk about the health of kidneys in other videos that are coming. So stay tuned and subscribe if you haven't. See you in my next video.